time. This is
Oh my
fun.
gosh. Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
What did you do today? Anything fun? I'm like,
No, I've been like writing out all my Christmas cards to send to my family, so my bed's like covered in Christmas presents and cards and stuff. So it's fun
nice.
spreading some holiday cheer. What about you?
Good. Uh,
Yeah.
the same, kind of the same actually. I mailed out. My wife usually mails out Christmas cards, but I have to take care of my friends, and
Uh-huh.
I bought like a bunch of concert posters for friends. So I just shoved it in a tube and realized, oh, I hope they can get it out. Like it's kind of really like I kind of really shoved the poster in there, and that just happened today. That's the only reason I bring it up.
I love it. That's a good
Uh,
gift.
man, I have been listening to so much of your stuff. Like you've been doing so much cool stuff recently, but I want to hit up something that I've never asked anybody before, but I've seen it before. A couple, probably weeks ago, you posted. It was on Twitter, and it said, "Text me," and there's a 929 number.
Uh-huh.
And now I've seen it before. People have done it before, but I've never gotten to follow up with anybody. One, why did you do it? But two, what did you get out of it? Anything good? Any like really interesting things?
Yeah, I mean like great connections with people. I'm like actually connecting on a personal level with fans in a way that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. It's super cool. Like I'm really talking to these people. I don't know. It's
Nice.
wild to me.
No, it's I think it's a very cool gesture. I think it's fun, and it's a simple thing. You're really putting yourself out there. And I mean, you can always get another number or whatever like that if things get weird. And as
Yeah.
I guess I don't automatically go dark with everything, but I think there are some very, loose cannons out there that might just take an opportunity and kind of exploit it. But I
Yeah.
don't know if there was like, did you look through the text and like see, words and kind of phrases that you go, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. Can I work with that? I don't know if that wasn't the goal, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot more like wow moments of holy crap, I can't believe that song made someone feel that way, or like these moments where I'm recognizing how big the impact of something I did is on these people's lives. And
Yeah.
I don't know, not I haven't really asked anybody for like anything specific. I don't know.
No.
It's more just saying what's up.
Okay, good. I was just curious because I never got to ask anybody like
Totally.
the other side of that. But
Yeah.
your songs, and I'm not just saying this. It's sort of a year that I've already lost track of time anyway. But
Yeah.
I genuinely, when I listen to your songs, do lose track of time, which I love, and I can't say that about every song. And I
Wow.
can prove this because I'm downstairs in my basement right now. I do the show from around the corner in my basement the last couple of months. But I listen to your songs, and then when the song is done, I'll listen to it on SoundCloud, and it'll jump to the next song, and I go, "Oh, it's like 5 minutes past," and it's like 2 minutes and 39 seconds. I'm like, "How? Wow!" That's my proof that I really do lose myself in a lot of the songs that you have been doing. Choke and Salvador Dali being another one that I just sort of
Thank
I
you.
thought, okay, well, about 6 minutes have passed, and I look at it and I'm like, 2:39. I'm like, oh my god, which is a fun thing for a song to do, and I think it's a neat result.
Thank you so much. It's so cool that you're listening to the music. That's awesome. Thank you.
We have been obviously playing Overwhelmed, and it's the perfect 2020 song that was written 2 years ago. But
So
how
wild.
how much fun is it to see something like that? It's like planting a seed and then
Oh,
it turns into a tree.
it's so cool. It's surreal. Every day is like a new exciting tidbit of news and information about it, and it's just growing, and it's so amazing to watch.
It's everything about it is just great, including even the picture that goes along with it, you wrapped around the TV, and it's just so well thought out. And I'm not saying
Thank
other bands
you.
aren't thinking things out and fleshing things out, but I think you seem to have a real attention to the detail of it all, from the intro to the song where you hear a TV and you hear kind of news, and then it
Mhm.
just cuts, and it's you just have a really great knack of turning what seems like a feeling at the time into a song.
Thank you. Thank you. I love art. I love every aspect of it. We shot that cover in my garage during quarantine, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It turned out really cool. I
Thank
like
you.
the stripped version of that is also cool because I know it's a little slower paced,
Mm-hmm.
but man, it still works. And I think it works maybe even better because when you are feeling overwhelmed,
Yeah.
things don't necessarily go fast or
Mm-mm.
speedy. It's different for everyone. So I think it's kind of neat that you took it a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, it was nice to bring out the emotional aspect of the song, I think, in that version, which, not that it's not prevalent in the first, but it's totally different, and it was fun to make.
Is that with songwriting? How do you? I mean, are you always able to take a feeling and so eloquently put it into a song? Because I mean, especially this year.
I wish I could sit here and say yes, but no, it's so hard, and every time I go to write a song, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to do it again. It's
Yeah.
like that impending fear that it's just never going to happen, but it always comes together, and I owe it to my collaborators really for helping me get to the finish line with like everything I do.
I also I kind of want. Does anybody talk about your life in dancing? The fact that you were a dancer, did that come up a
A little
lot?
bit. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, it definitely comes up a little bit. Man, I grew up most of my life dancing. That was what I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life until I shattered my heel plates when I was a teenager.
Ow.
Yeah.
God, I can't
Silly.
imagine that. Are your feet smashed? Were you dancing so much? What kind of dance was it?
I was doing everything, tap,
Okay.
jazz, ballet, you name it, but I
Okay.
jumped off a stage in the middle of a performance and I didn't land on the mat that was there. And I had, I guess, smashed both my heel plates, but I finished the whole rest of the show. I didn't even I knew I was in pain, but I think I was in shock.
Oh my
And I
God.
kept going the whole rest of the performance. And it wasn't until like a few days later when I got to the doctor and he was like, "You can't walk, sis."
That's commitment.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like walking on like broken glass at all, or no?
Sure. I mean, what was I, 14? So I can't remember what the pain was
Yeah.
like, but I'm
Yeah.
sure I was just like, gotta keep going. Quick change, next number. Let's go.
That is
Yeah.
being in the moment. That's proof that you are in the moment, which I do love. This year you've kicked out so much great stuff, and I quickly kind of want to talk about 2020, the song
Yeah.
MMXX. I don't know. I love it, but it's sort of like a biography, and there's like hopes and dreams, and then there's like it goes into like future plans, and it even like name checks. I love the record label, which I think is so funny.
Yeah.
It's very. It's not. You're not just going, I hope a record label signs me. You go boom, and you're like. It's like a realization of a dream, which I just think is in 2020, a year where people's dreams have been pretty much sat on, broken, thrown away, destroyed. It's so cool to have a song like that says like, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to execute it. And with music to boot,
Yeah, totally. It's funny. There were people in the beginning of the year, like March-ish, when Corona started kicking off, that were making memes like about the song, like, haha, she thought she was going to make it this year. And now it's like, well, some, I didn't do terribly.
No.
I think I spoke it into existence or something. I like to think I manifested it through putting the song out there. We landed our record deal through that song too. It was like,
oh really? Okay.
In a way, I think it definitely, helped the process along. So, calling them out.
Yeah, you can say that I mean, what would you say if somebody's like, how was your year?
Oh man, amazing. All shit aside, am I allowed to say that?
Absolutely.
I think I have so much gratitude. I just am trying. There's so many silver linings, and overwhelmed has been. My dreams are coming true every day. I really have no complaints. I feel so blessed, and I just want to give all that positivity I have back to the people that need it the most.
Back, well, not even say back. It's less than 2 weeks ago, the show that you and Youngblood did. Because if there's anybody that has just crazy energy in his young blood. That he came to Milwaukee last year, and I got to sit down and talk to him, and he just got off the plane. He was jet lag. He came from Europe, and I'm like, listen, I told his manager, I go, if he just needs wants to talk for 5 minutes, we talked for half an hour and talked about his childhood, and the guy was just just so much fun, and not all over the place, very focused, which is just really fun. So that kind of energy that I love. When I saw that you guys were going to do a show together, I'm like, oh, that's so fun, and I cannot wait till real life hits and you guys can actually share a stage and share some time. And have you worked at all with him?
No, I haven't yet, but he's such an inspiration. I mean, all the things you're even just saying about him, and watching him perform, and the way that he speaks to his audience and connects to his fans. And he is so inspiring, man. He's so present and so in it and so about the people. And it's so cool to watch.
Has anyone else this year that you've sort of communicated with, however, via social media or actually, if you had the fortune of in real life talking to somebody, any other artists that you even talk to, maybe not working with, but just collaborate a little bit with, just talking to, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have met Fem I've worked with this year, and I've been a fan of hers for so long, so we have some cool stuff coming out next year. Kenny Hoopla has been a huge inspiration to me. I've loved watching him on his rise, and we've become internet friends, and that's been really cool. I just put out that song with Yoshi Flower. He and I, though, have been friends for quite some time, and he's a great collaborator of mine. But yeah, I'm always meeting new people online, I guess, these days.
Kenny Hoopla is just one of those guys who I talked to him this summer. So we're in Milwaukee. He lives 2 hours north of here in Oshkosh, which is kind of the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's just it's a city, but it's a small city. And I even asked him, he's in his backyard when I was talking to him, and I'm like, I'm sure everybody asks him, is why are you there? Why? And he goes, it doesn't matter where you are right now. And I go, never mind. You're absolutely right. I'm not going to ask him. I'm not going to push it.
So true. He's got it figured out.
Yeah. He's got just a crazy amount of talent. Obviously, we're talking about Overwhelmed, but there's another song that I absolutely love, Choke.
Thank you.
Because it starts out as a dance track, and then all of a sudden there's this gorgeous guitar part that works, that you're kind of moving with it, you have a feeling, and you're like, oh, it's a dance track. You go, oh, this is it's not even a bass drop, it's just a fun guitar part that's just gorgeous, gets dropped in there. Is that how do you see the song? Did you see the song as a dance track the whole time, and then you go, I want to throw this in, or it would sound good, or it's the way it should feel?
It was originally the bridge. It was a bridge idea, and there was supposed to be a whole other chorus that happened after. But the impact that I felt once we started producing it out, and I realized the moment that it was in this song, I was like, we don't need anything else. It can end here.
Yeah.
I love that part.
I've listened to it tons of times. That's another song that I thought was longer than it was, and I don't know why. Maybe it's
so short.
Maybe it's because the radio thing, where I always look at length of songs, because it does kind of not affect me, but I look at a song and I'm like, oh, that's weird that's a 6-minute song, or that's amazing. But that song, again, you're like, tracks under 3 minutes. How is that possible? Maybe the guitar part, I go, it seems like it should be longer. And I think maybe it is just 2020, and days sometimes feel like weeks, and sometimes you realize, like you said, that happened in March, and you go, it's goddamn December now. Shit. You're like, this is.
I know.
You got holiday cards behind you. That's how bizarre is that? Weren't you thinking in summer? You go, oh, December, I might be out on tour.
I did think that exact thought.
I know, and I know you can't plan a tour right now, but are you? What are you thinking for 2021?
I mean, as soon as I can hit the road, I'll be out there hitting every god dang stage that will have me. I think I have high hopes that it will happen soon.
Is there any venue that you really, really enjoyed prior, obviously, to March, playing, that you want to that's the first one you want to get back to?
I played the Troubadour actually right before shutdown, and that had been a dream of mine for so long, and I would love to play it again. and I feel like get a second shot at it. I feel like I've grown a lot as a performer actually through this time, and I've been like honing in on my instrument skills and all of that. So I'm excited to like come back with new talents to share with everybody.
That's fun. What is there any instrument you've picked up during the pandemic that you've like never played before, or you just, like you said, sharpening your skills on the ones you already know?
Yeah, I picked up bass and drums.
Oh wow!
During quarantine. Okay. Yeah, so I was able to play one bass track on the Youngblood tour that I did. And that was the first time I had ever played bass live. I had just got the bass like a couple weeks before, and I figured out how to play it enough for one song. But drums has been like I'm falling in love with the drums, and I can't wait to get to hopefully play them live someday soon.
Are you doing a full kit or just a rubber practice pad?
Well, I have like a little practice pad right here in my corner, but I go to a studio with my drummer, and he's been giving me drum lessons.
Cool. My next question was, when you take up the drums, if you have neighbors, they too are now sort of picking up the drums through their walls. So
yeah. Practice pad at home.
That's good. Okay, no. Yeah. And this is bizarre, but like last month I talked to Sarah Barenthal of Phanogram, and she also picked up the drums during quarantine. Like never played them before, and it started. And I'm like, it's a great instrument. I have played no instrument, so it's really fun. That do you see yourself like being? Are you doing the kind of Dave Grohl, Phil Collins thing where you can sing and play at the same time?
I really hope that's, yeah. I mean, when I'm doing them, I'm singing, so I hope it sounds good. I have no idea.
I love this. You were more inspiring than I even thought you would be. I have all this like question stuff laid out. I don't have any more really, other than actually one thing, and this is bizarre. Since you've already danced, you obviously go into music. If you, let's say acting, let's say somebody knocked on your door with the opportunity, you could be Uma Thurman's daughter. And I think haven't people given you Uma Thurman before?
No, but I have chills because that was such a compliment. Thank you.
Uma Thurman's daughter, you could pull off so easily. Oh, I'm surprised no one's thrown that at you before.
That's like, I'm shook. That's so nice. Thank you. I'm such a huge fan of hers.
Yeah, let's work it. Maybe like a Kill Bill. What are we up to? 2 or 3? That would be, that would be
so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah.
No, wow. Okay, it's the one thing I just assume that you're like, you've done dancing, boom, you're like music, every instrument. Now you logically just go into acting. You're kind of do the Machine Gun Kelly thing.
I have a dream of doing like child voiceover work for like cartoons and stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
I just feel like I could put on cute, funny little voices for the kids,
Some people do that for decades. That's like all, like go through the Scooby-Doo, watch Scooby-Doo sometime and look at the credits and look at people who voice that. They will do it for decades. It goes on for forever. It's like we have a kid, and obviously like our 8-year-old, when we watch the cartoon, he gets pissed because I'm like, I pause it at the end, I look at the credits, and he goes, "Why do you always do that?" I go, "I want to see if like any of these people are famous." He goes, "What do you mean famous?" He goes, "They're on a cartoon, they're already famous." I go, "No, like if they do other things." And he goes, "All right." And he just lets me, he tolerates me. But like that's what we, I'm like, I pause it at the end and I see, I go, "Oh yeah, she's a singer, or she's also done this." And it's funny where people pop up. That's well, I'm glad I asked that. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the time. This is so fun, and you are the greatest. Just loving Overwhelmed so much.
Thank
you. I love talking to somebody that's been so busy in 2020. It makes you feel good. Once in a while, it's nice to talk to somebody and go, "Yeah, things are rough," and you go, "Yeah, I agree." But once in a while, you just gotta shake that, and you're like, it's forward momentum, which I love.
Totally.
So I really am excited for you to hit the road when you do tour, and definitely come to Milwaukee. We will have several places for you to play anywhere you want.
So fun. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet in person, do this in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
See your drum kit and everything else.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be slaying by then. We'll see.
Well, good luck. Thank you again for the time. Take care of yourself,
so much.
And keep kicking out this great stuff.